This video shows you how to fix and clean a clogged up, no suction or broken vacuum cleaner head or Hoover cleaning head. There are a myriad of reasons why your Hoover is clogged up. The first variable could be that your Hoover bag is full. A full vacuum bag reduces suction, which impede or forestalls the vacuum's capability to pick up dirt and hair. The reduced suction or loss of airflow can cause the vacuum to overheat and damage the motor in the Hoover. Click on the link in the description to see how to change your Hoover vacuum bag. The second most probable reason why your Hoover has low suction is that the cleaning head is clogged up. And if your Hoover is giving off a pungent smell, it could be that you're vacuuming wet, gunk, muck or detritus. When using your conventional Hoover, rather use a dedicated or bespoke steam mop, wet and dry cylinder vacuum cleaner, carpet washer or carpet cleaner to get the job done if your waste or debris is wet, okay? If you decide to use your conventional Hoover to clean out wet detritus, just make sure you give it a good clean or deep clean with respect to its accessories so that the lack of cleaning of wet waste thereof doesn't produce a pungent smell. The next step of the process would be to clear out any clogged debris from the cleaning head and fix any broken component. So here I will be disassembling the cleaning head, fixing any broken component, and reverse engineer the assembly process to save on the length or time of the video. Suffice to say, this video will not encapsulate the disassembly process, but will encapsulate the assembly and rework process. You should be able to work out how to disassemble from the assembly process once you get the hang of it. To disassemble, take out them two longer screws at the far left and the far right of the underside of the cleaning head. Repeat or replicate the process for the shorter inner near right and near left screws of the underside of the cleaning head. So I have taken out them screws with the aid of a drill and a screw bit. You can also use a Torx or star head screwdriver. You can also see them two long screws and short screws that have been taken out. After taking off the silver panel from the underside of the cleaning head, my thumb is pressed against the black component which is broken and will be fixed subsequently. I have taken the black component right from the middle of where you've got the pedal tool deluxe and the pedal tool economy. The black component is somewhat cracked in the middle, and one of the sockets that houses the screws is broken and has latched onto the silver panel on the underside, just as you've got here. These cracks are a common problem due to the force exerted while you're hoovering. So I will use a plier on the underside to provide grip on the cracked socket, and then use a drill screw bit to top loosen the screws from the cracked socket from the underside. So I will be reworking the cracked black component using the cracked bits, which are crucial to establishing the black component's full functionality. And here you can see that the black component is somewhat cracked in the middle, which provides the main aperture suction for the Hoover. So I will place both cracked pieces on a wooden scrap bit to glue both pieces together using Loctite and industrial glue. I want a rigid solid connection, so first I will be applying the industrial glue between the cracked midsection of both mating parts. This process is conducted on an A4 paper. Be careful that the industrial glue doesn't stick onto your hands, okay? As it is strong and dries fast when it catches or latches onto your thumb, but takes a couple of minutes when it's drying on plastic. The next step of the process would be to apply Loctite around the cracked lines of both mated or assembled cracked black component bits. So I will be placing the black component vertically in the plastic support which holds the vacuum stainless steel rod. This will prevent the glue and the Loctite from being runny due to gravity and will help facilitate the drying process. The next step of the process would be to reattach the black cracked component bit into the slot where it was forcefully detached from. So I will be pretty much replicating or repeating the Loctite and industrial glue application process. Just make sure that the cracked bit socket fits perfectly into the groove's orientation slot it was originally detached from. Once you've applied glue in between the cracked slot bit and the black component, you can then apply Loctite around the cracked perimeter lines of both mating parts. Again, once both mating parts have started to dry out, you can turn the black component in the vertical position to avoid the glue from being runny. Apply more Loctite where necessary, bespoke to requirements upon visual inspection to provide a firm connection around areas where the Loctite or glue is lacking. Then leave to dry out as before, and that's pretty much your black component sorted. The next step of the process would be to assemble the long stainless steel extension rods into the combination hat floor and carpet head cleaning tool, whilst making sure that the stainless steel plastic fits perfectly into the groove and that the pedal tools fit perfectly into the respective slots. So flip the cleaning head tool to its top side and ensure that the pedal tools are sticking out, from the top side. When either of the pedal tool is sticking out, the other pedal tool remains flat and vice versa. And also ensure that the rod going through the curved black plastic component housing are keyed in to their respective slots. The next step of the process would be to fit in the underside chrome stainless steel plate. And here you can see that the chrome plate has got the retractable brushes around its perimeter or through its length and breadth, which encompasses, encapsulates or houses the retractable brushes, which are deployed by the pedal tools at a 90-degree or 180-degree displacement. The next step of the process would be to assemble the black component, which provides massive extraction suction support via its aperture when vacuuming or hoovering, and also holding the chrome plate and pedal tools into position for optimum operability and functionality. And prior to installing the chrome plate underside covering to the combination cleaning head, a quantity of 2 conical springs should be installed on the chrome plate. This will provide leverage and prevent the black component underneath my thumb from being damaged when force is exerted when vacuuming. Then subsequently apply WD-40 specialist silicone onto the conical springs to prevent further rust or corrosion from oxidation and air. If you've been hoovering wet waste or debris from your floor or carpet, that would have made your conical springs more susceptible or prone to corrosion or rust, which over protracted periods would make your conical springs corrode, break, cave in, give in to pressure and compromise the integrity of the black component and the functionality of the mechanism of the cleaning head. Once the conical springs have been reasonably lubricated, we can then proceed to install the undercovering chrome plate to the underside of the combination cleaning head using 4 screws, 2 long screws where you've got the conical springs and 2 short screws where you've got the black component sat. Make sure that the chrome plate and the black plastic of the combination cleaning head are well aligned in their 4 respective threaded slot hole positions. If you subject your vacuum into a lot of wet cleaning, get some WD-40 onto them screws to prevent corrosion or rust. Once done, torque tighten them 4 off screws into their respective positions with the aid of a drill and screw bit. Make sure that the screws key into the conical spring hold positions. Visually inspect that the threaded screw is keyed into position prior to torque tightening the chrome plate onto the casing of the combination cleaning head. So here I am torque tightening and slaving them threaded screws in the conical hold positions. Them slaved long screws will not be torque tightened all the way down until all 4 of screws have been fully slaved into the combination head. So I will be repeating and replicating the process for the shorter screws that latch onto the black component through the underside chrome plate. If you overly torque tighten them 4 screws and you'd notice that you do not have any traction, or if the pedal tool lever is quite stiff, torque loosen them 4 screws evenly with the same amount of turns, and that should give them pedal tools some play or movement when displacing them at 90 degrees or 180 degrees. So here you can see that I am torque loosening them screws to get the desired amount of play that I want, okay? And after freeing up them screws a little bit, you can see that them pedal tools aren't as stiff as they were initially. There is play, movement or traction that isn't causing any mild irritation or stiffness, but rather can be conveniently used. After clearing up the clog from your Hoover and deep cleaning the accessories of your Hoover, if you're still getting a pungent smell, then you can use vacuum fresheners to mitigate or eliminate the odor. If your type of Hoover is a bagless cyclonic vacuum, then pour the granules from a single sachet into its empty dust container and then repeat subsequently each time the bag is emptied. But if you're using a conventional Hoover, empty 2 sachet granules into the empty dust bag, or when replacing the bag, or when it is emptied, at least on average once a month. And that's about it really. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, helps the channel grow, and hopefully catch up with you later. Goodbye.